Okay, so this is take two. We started the show a few minutes ago, and I froze up. And I was lamenting about my nap that I had, where I woke up groggy. And I've seen a couple of clients since that time, and we had good sessions, but I'm still a little on the groggy end. So there's Sarah. Is it broken? I think it's working now. I think it's working now. Is it working now? Can you see me now? Can you hear me now? Hey, Marlene. I think it's working now. So let's assume that the technology. Hi, Patricia from Pennsylvania. Let's assume that the technology is going to behave itself and the gremlins are going to stay away, and we're going to have church tonight. So, and I'll try to work my Jackie King is doing one of these. I'll work my way out of my grogginess. Marlene says, "Praise God." So we'll let some of the people arrive to the church meeting tonight. I have three things on my agenda that will keep us busy for most of the evening. One, I have the schedule of the abandonment conference that Jerry and I are participating in that's going on. I think many of you have signed up for it because I know a couple hundred people have signed up through me. Then I have a question by an anonymous individual. Then I have a long question, and I feel bad. This is somebody who had a question about sort of along the lines of a dirty John slash narcissistic neighbor experience. If you're on, he thought that we were meeting last week, and we didn't meet last week. I think he was going to go by the name of Chris. So Chris, if you're in the house, then let me know. And then, because I'm going to address your complicated circumstance in this question. So I just have all kinds of things to keep us busy with tonight. And I'm going to try to stay unfrozen. I'm just going to dance in place here or tread water for a few minutes while people are joining the show before we get into those things. Two movie reviews. Judy Garner, hello from Texas. Two movies. The last two movies I've watched have been disturbing. My God. There was a movie that Renda and I went to the theaters. It was called Greta. Oh my God. Narcissists make bad spouses, but they make really good movie villains. You know? And all we knew, it was a movie about a stalker. But my God, Nerd Incognito Sue, saying hi from Toronto. Sarah says, stop watching this scary narcissist movie. Couldn't hardly sleep that night. Woman was really wicked. And then, I'm a big fan of the Academy Award show, and I saw the woman who won best leading actress. And so I was intrigued, and I wanted to see the movie Favorite. And my goodness gracious, there were four malignant narcissists just duking it out in that movie. and you'd be hard pressed to find out which one was worse. It finally came to these aren't so much scary as they are watching a narcissist in action, which I guess is scary. Hey, Regina. 2020 featured the real Dirty John this past weekend. So, yeah, I could hardly sleep after that movie, The Favorite, because it was just horrific, just narcissists competing. And in the end, the woman who won the Academy Award, who beat out Lady Gaga and Meryl Streep, she was the biggest narcissist of all, the queen. So if you like those kind of movies, then tune into those movies and you'll be entertained. So, well, let me tell you about this conference, this online conference that Jerry and I are involved in, and I'm going to go through it. I'm going to talk about some of the topics. I haven't really heard of some of these therapists and speakers. Y'all can let me know if you've heard of them. Now, Terrence Real, I've heard of him, and he gets to speak twice. And he started out, the conference started yesterday, and he was the first speaker, and his topic was essential relationship skills to overcoming abandonment. Then there was a woman, hey Soren, there's a woman named Shelley Bullard who is speaking on becoming available to yourself. How about that? Becoming available to yourself. I'm reading Jackson Mackenzie's book, Whole Again. And I've been reading it for a long time because I've actually been binging on my old John Grisham books. I've listened to about a zillion. I've listened to almost all of his books in the past 3 weeks or so. So my recovery reading has been taking a back seat. But I have been listening some to Whole Again by Jackson Mackenzie. He would say that recovery is about becoming available to yourself. Shelley Bullard, the key to creating harmonious, loving relationships. Okay. The next guy is a guy named Brian Pizer, and his topic, I don't know if Brenda's listening or not. She's got clients, but we'll find out. Maybe she'll pipe in. She's right in the room next door. Brian Pizer, how to stand on your own without being alone. How to stand on your own without being alone. That's a good topic. So many of us, when we were abandoned as children, we have this big empty hole in our soul, and we have to fill it up. Who we fill it up with, equally needy, but usually narcissistic people. Day 2 today was Alina Pratt, and her topic was the gift of shit. How about that for a topic? The gift of shit. Shit happens. Everybody just call her Sue. Don't worry about the nerd incognito. Okay, Sue. The gift of shit. That's a good topic. Then also today was Rihanna Milne. Why 9 out of 10 people struggle in life and love, and how to have the life you desire and the love you deserve. Alina Pratt, somebody says, is really awesome speaker. The gift of shit. I thought Rihanna Milne's topic was too long. Why 9 out of 10 people struggle in life and love, and how to have the life and desire and the love you deserve. A little bit lengthy. Okay. And there's Sherry Gaba. And her topic is love and relationship addiction and the connection to abandonment. So that's a great topic because when I was in my relationship addiction stuff, 2005, 6, 7, it was all rooted in my abandonment issue. So that's a good one. She might be speaking even as we speak, the last one. Okay, day 3 is a woman named Candace Vandell, and check out the topic, healing the original wound. Pow. Healing the original wound. I wish I could steal that topic, but now it would be hard to steal it because I've announced that I want to steal it, publicly. So it'd be hard to get away with it now. Then tomorrow, is Abby Blakeshe and Ian McNaughton. They're a team, and they're speaking on Beyond Hurt, how your physiology can reconnect with your essential self. Wow. How your physiology can reconnect with your essential self. What are we learning with Narcissistic Abuse Syndrome and treatment for complex PTSD? We're learning, what do we got to do? You got to heal your body. You got to heal your body. It's a very physical. There's Jackie. She didn't get a notification. Well, we didn't mean to not notification you. Sorry about that. I wonder if people didn't get notification. There's not as many people in church yet. So we're in order to heal your psychological wounds, you've got to heal your body. The wounds are in the tissues of your body. When I would get massage early on in my shattering, the woman would just touch my chest and I would begin to weep. So yesterday I went to the gym, and you know what? I don't have my my backup where I can see the questions, and I'm not seeing the questions. So let me do that real quickly here, and I'll be able to respond better to questions. There we go. Okay. Okay, there we go. Suzanne is in the house. Hi, Suzanne. I wonder why y'all didn't get notification. I don't know. Because normally when we start the show, within like 20 minutes, there's like 50 people. So I think that people just didn't get notification. So I don't know. Sue has made changes in her life, and she was singing while she was doing the dishes today. So Kay Kobe got 2 notifications in 11 and 13 minutes. Well, that's because we started the show and the universe was messing with me, and I got froze after like 2 minutes. So somebody did get notified. So anyway, back to the speakers for tomorrow at this free conference. It was a false start. Sharon Martin is going to be speaking on healing childhood emotional abandonment, shame, and unworthiness. Sounds like a good topic. Then on March the 7th, day after tomorrow, a gal who sort of is dressed in sort of African garb, Valerie Mason John, is speaking on the stamp of abandonment. I've never heard that topic, the stamp of abandonment. Then Candace Platter is speaking on abandonment, betrayal, and self-compassion. Hello, Jessica. The healthy path to healing. Abandonment, betrayal, and self-compassion. I tell you what, the cure for abandonment is self-compassion. I'm just going to steal all these ideas. You'll be seeing videos here pretty soon. Okay, do we have a question? Hey, remember, if you have a question, write question in front of that. And I've got 3 big projects, so I'm not going to get to a lot of questions, but let me answer. The deception of perception. How does an adult fill in the gaps of self-worth, self-love that weren't taught as kids? How do you retrofit that stuff into the human psyche? And so a lot of times people ask that how-to question. It's a long process of recovery where you cry, you have insights, you get in relationships where the relationship provides you enough pain to dig into your issues quite deeply. You cry some more, you watch videos, you read books. Pretty much that's how you do it. So it just takes a lot of time and a lot of work. Sarah is asking a question. Should I confront my sister about a pathological lying? Sarah, it's too big of a question. I would have to have the context. I don't know your sister. I don't know what she pathologically lies about. So Soren ask, what is the proper balance in life between security and passion? How do you balance that in your life, Mark? I think the balance is delicate, and I'm not sure how to approach it properly. She lies about everything. So I don't understand the question, Soren. What's the proper balance in life between security and passion? So you'll have to explain what do you mean by the balance between security and passion. And I will jump on that question when you elaborate a little bit. Back to the speakers. A woman named Stacy Brookman is speaking on real life resilience, using stories to build strength. I love that. I love to share poetry. Nobody ever watches my videos with poetry. I shared Jacqueline Kennedy's favorite poem in my last video, called Ikitha. Stories are powerful. On Friday, March the 8th, there's some guy named Mark Smith speaking on managing abandonment issues through recovery. Here's his picture. He's really handsome. Oh my goodness. Hope says, hello everybody, another wounded person in the house. Okay, so Soren is explaining his question. Security is your home, your wife, things that are familiar. Passion is embracing chaos, having dreams, not knowing how are things going to turn out. Okay, now I understand the question. I think everybody is different, Soren. I'm a passion guy. In terms of dreams, calling, creativity. I've had a situation where I've had some time here the last 3 weeks. I've had a lot of time on my hands, and I've had a lot of creative juices flowing. And sometimes I feel a little nuts when there's that much creativity flowing. I think it helps people. I think it's good work. But myself, I lean more toward the chaos and the dreams and the goals. And it's been fun to see the YouTube channel exploding lately. Jackie has lots of palm trees. She wants to move to Hawaii and have a life at the beach. Okay, there's my wife. My wife says he's handsome. Oh, thank you, honey. Okay. But I have to work at keeping my feet on the ground, making enough time to give my wife enough attention. Isn't that right, honey? Having enough time to do the dishes. I'm headed to Indy tomorrow, and she says you got to do the dishes before you go back. So in terms of security, I need to work at staying grounded. But everybody's different. But if you have a calling in the world to be creative and be a writer and make videos, you got to be long on passion. Hope you're asking a question: how to deal with a boss that's a narcissist. That's a little bit of a big question. Can you break it down for me? Like I said, I'm probably not going to get to tons of questions. I do want to dialogue with y'all, but I've got 2 big questions and a long commercial. So Jackie made her husband buy that air fryer. That you can make good food in those air fryers. Honey, you haven't made anything for me in a while. I guess we won't have time tomorrow. Okay. Also on Friday, there's a speaker named Michelle Ferris, and her topic is how to negotiate feelings of abandonment and betrayal when your loved one is addicted. That's a good topic. That's a real good topic. Renda and I were going to complain about it's gotten a little bit coolish here. But there's no snow and there's palm trees, and I've been to the beach almost every day in the past 3 weeks. So I'm not going to complain about it too much. The wind chill was 20 or minus 20, Sarah? Okay, so we're back on Friday. Terry Reel, the headliner, is going to speak on essential relationship skills to overcoming betrayal. I think that's the same presentation that he starts with. So he gets to Present once and present again because he's famous. Day 6, Saturday, March 9th, Dr. Debbie Silber is going to speak from betrayal to breakthrough. Then also on Saturday, Dr. Elsbeth Meowth and Freddie Zentel Weaver are speaking on experience love and rebuild trust through tantric tantric meditation. All right. Michelle Chalifant is speaking on transforming abandonment and betrayal with the adult chair. Also on, this is Sunday, Catherine Winter, How to Take Ownership of Our Emotion Allows Us to Heal. Also speaking is Therapist Uncensored, Sue Marriott and Ann Kelly, and they're speaking on abandonment through the lens of modern attachment theory and strategies to free yourself from your unconscious past. And I'm down to, also on Sunday, Yang Kang Chan is going to speak on loving your abandoned inner child. So that sounds like a good one. Day 8, March 11th, Illy Riviera Walter, How to Face Your Story and Encounter Freedom. I don't know if y'all are listening to this, but there are some good topics here. The last speakers, I think this is maybe Sunday or Monday. Lori and Bob Hollander, Infidelity Trauma, 5 Steps to Reclaim Yourself. And then Dr. Dawn Elsie Snipes, How to Stop Abandoning Yourself. I think we sometimes abandon ourselves. March 9th, or day 9, March 12th, there's a fella by the name of Jerry Wise speaking on reducing self-abandonment. Then Linda and Charlie Bloom are speaking on post-traumatic growth. Jania Fishers is Healing Your Fragmented Self. Christine Agnew, Breaking the Patterns from the Past. John Amodio, Healing and Self-Transformation After Betrayal. And then Ann Blythe, What Does It Mean to Be Emotionally Safe? And Samantha Ruth, Embrace the Suck. Sometimes things suck, and it'd be good if you could embrace the suck. All right, so end of long, boring commercial. Okay, y'all are talking about Vermont, and you're talking about New Hampshire, and sandwiches, and cats. So... yeah, I think a lot of people didn't get notified for some reason. That's weird. So it's good to have all of you here. So I do have a long question. It's sort of a medium question. It's not a long question. So maybe I won't read this other one unless I hear from Chris. Is Chris here? I think he was staying up in the middle of the night in another country. So I would hate to have him miss this. I don't know what to do. I didn't hear back and know if he was going to be attending. So let's do this question. Soren says it's like trying to herd kittens when we get together in this group. Marlene says it's common for YouTube to not send notifications. Ginger says, embrace the suck. Let's make t-shirts. One of the first speakers, again, hers was, what was it? Alina Pratt, The Gift of Shit. And I've been speaking a lot lately about finding grace and meaning from this process of narcissistic abuse. Okay, we have a question from Rise and Shine. Rise and shine, give God the glory, glory. Okay, Rise and Shine has a question. Do people escalate the risk with each new partner if their threshold wasn't broken in the previous relationship? Soren, your shit got taken down, but somebody made it come back. Okay. That is a really good question, Rise and Shine. Do people escalate the risk with each new partner if their threshold wasn't broken in the previous relationship? That was certainly my experience in my relationship with my fiance for 6.5 years. I went from really, after I left the marriage, I was involved with a really especially insane, hurtful, unstable, borderline woman. But she was an amateur compared to my fiance, and I was in great risk for 6.5 years, and I didn't know it. So I would have to say it just depends on if you hit bottom. So after I was shattered and after I hit bottom, I got in recovery, and I met my wife, Renda, and so I'm not in nearly as much danger married to Renda because she's in recovery. So it just depends on where you're at in your own recovery process. Okay. Sue says, once I learned to ride the waves of life and not fear things, experiences, or catastrophic thinking, I believe I'll just be fine. So she's much calmer now. So, all right, I'm going to do this question, and I won't say the name, but here we go. Hi, Mark. I've got another anonymous, please. Request for you for a topic for your videos. I've watched every video you've ever made. So what we know about this anonymous person is she's got issues, because I've made a lot of videos. So she's a glutton for punishment, evidently. And I followed you right from the beginning of your series, as my shattering was the same timeline as yours. Here's my suggestion for a topic. I'm pretty well healed from it all, but I am continuously stuck. So pay attention to the question, because I'm going to ask for feedback from y'all. So I'm pretty well healed from it, but I am continuously stuck. Whenever I try to do something major, like go away on a trip, I book it in my mind, I run through it, all the scenarios in my head, and I really want to go, and then I can't quite carry through with it. The idea can be as minor as wanting to go away for a weekend trip or make a minor purchase, it's all a big hangover from my narcissistic abuse. Again, I appreciate staying totally anonymous. My question to you is, what is the stuckness all about? Did you get that feeling too? If so, how'd you deal with it? So, first of all, so my question to the community here is, has anybody suffered from post-shattering stuckness, where your recovery has sort of progressed and yet you're still stuck in terms of doing things for yourself, or having joy, or moving on to positive things. But when it comes for me to make videos, I can't really take a suggestion and then do it. I wait until I'm inspired. Something has to reach out and really inspire. And I haven't had that. So Diana says, Mark and Renda, really good videos recently. Sorry, she's late. Chemo sucks. So Marlene says she lives in neutral. My wife says she gets stuck and it's paralyzing at times. Honey, could you elaborate on your paralysis of being stuck? I had to tell this lady that I haven't really suffered from stuckness. I didn't even know what she was talking about. As I've healed, I've gotten more energy. I have more energy to do things. I will say that I was pretty antisocial. I was stuck in the sense of I just wanted to stay home and not go out because of the shattering. Okay, so let's get some of the responses. Soren says the experience of being stuck or unanchored is totally normal. There is a deep-seated ambivalence toward life. I'm not in complete chaos anymore, but I still have a hard time finding meaning. Hey, if you guys haven't seen my video I called it one of the most important videos I've ever made. It's a bit self-aggrandizing, isn't it? But let me tell you which one it was. I made a video called Narcissistic Abuse Recovery is a Hero's Journey. And in that video, I reframe the paradigm of the world's a dark place. We got abused as children. We got abused as adults. It sucks. It's not fair, to more Joseph Campbell, the famous mythologist, vision of we're all on a journey and we're all heroes. And then my last video, Soren, you mentioned finding meaning. And in the last video, the title was Learning How to Thrive, Recover, and Live Purposely. And in this video, I quoted Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis's favorite poem, Ikatha. And it was about finding purpose and meaning in life. So if you're stuck, frankly, I can recommend a couple of videos that'll help get you unstuck, and that's the last two that I made. I think were good videos for getting stuck yourself. So, my wife, no, we're backing up. Ginger says, being stuck is normal. It sounds like a cliche, but you have to fight it like you know you aren't going to let it rule your life. Don't stop believing in yourself. Read and watch videos that can help. Supercalifragilistic, expectations of a certain feeling in going away, yet deathly afraid, capacitory of possible emptiness, which is fine. So her thoughts were going away might bring up fear, because you mentioned going on a trip. You're stuck about going on trips. Renda says, getting stuck for me is sometimes totally shutting down and being an emotional numbness. My wife said something funny this week. I don't know if she saw it on Facebook. She said, you know, you're with the right guy if you want to kiss him and punch him in the throat at the same time. I said, see, I think I'm the right guy. Rise and shine. Her question is being stuck a reversal of the avoidance of being shattered? Interesting. Before shattering, you would do anything to avoid it, but now you need it to prevent the stuck passivity. I suppose that that there's after you recover a bit from your shattering, there's you're just fragile, and maybe you don't want to take risks. One thing I did experience was in my fragileness, I was sort of I was getting afraid to play basketball with the young bucks, the young studs, who were way better than me and critical of my play, and so I guess as I'm reflecting, I guess there was some stuckness in being antisocial and reticent to go to war on the basketball court. So when I get stuck now, which is rare, then I focus on how great it felt last time I felt great. Before, I would crawl up in my head and get paralyzed and self-hermitize. I've never heard the phrase self-hermitize. That's a good one. Jessica says, can you give examples of having healthy boundaries with a spouse? Well, I can give examples of healthy boundary. Here's healthy boundaries. They're shared pleasantly. They're shared ahead of time. They always have a consequence. You can negotiate what the consequence might be, but these are parts of any healthy boundaries. They're shared pleasantly, they're shared ahead of time, and there's a consequence. Every time I've been pulled over for speeding, the officer is very pleasant. They call me sir. Sir, may I have your license and registration? And they're just really nice. But then I have to pay $175, and then I slow down. Okay. Somebody talking about a show. Somebody's maybe talking about a show. Emotional Detective is here. Okay. Where we at? Ginger says your Hero's Journeys video was one of your all-time best. Bravo. Well, thank you, Ginger. That's what I thought. I did. I thought it was an important paradigm shift. It wasn't talking about narcissists, and I know that if I make videos talking about narcissists, like the one on Dirty John, I get a lot of views. But watch the one on the hero's journey, because when you guys were born into the family that you were born into, you were invited into participating in an adventure, and life is a journey. It's an adventure. So it wasn't unfair. It wasn't sucky. It was an adventure. And there's a spiritual component to it, but eventually there's a shattering. And eventually then out of our recovery comes a transformation. And then we get a chance to make amends and make atonement. And then we get to get healthy and we arrive home victorious. He calls it, Joseph Campbell calls it handing out boons or handing out blessings to everyone in your life. So watch that. Jackie says we feel like we don't deserve to be happy, so we're stuck. Okay. I shot way ahead accidentally. Here we go. Jackie says we wake up one day and says, I'm the captain of this ship. Brenda says it's like you're fighting within, wanting to move forward, but you're paralyzed with fear. Soren says, I feel stuck about where to live. When I let go of what other people would think and feel, I know what I want and how to get it. So Soren, you're talking about the same theme of security versus passion, and that you lean maybe too much towards security. Sue, I found out when I got stuck, which happened for years, it happened when I withdrew and shut down. Now, as soon as I feel the pull coming on, I get physical. Sue has hit upon an important issue, and that is, if you feel stuck, drag your ass down to the gym and move your body. My wife took me to an amazing dinner last night to Paula Dean's, which was amazing, except I ate too much. And then we saw One, which is a fantastic musical here in Myrtle Beach. And one of the songs they were talking about, let me see you shake your tail feathers. So if you feel stuck, you got to shake your tail feathers. You got to shake your booty. You got to do some exercise. Sorry, my eyes got a little tired. I'm looking forward to heading home to Indianapolis and getting out there and playing some hoops. I'm going to play some hoops and get my blood moving. But if you feel stuck, walk and work out. Supercalifragilistic stuckness could subconscious clench to the old tapes, the old beliefs, the old messages which are stuck in the subconscious till we sit in the feelings. That's brilliant. That's exactly what the author here, Jackson McKenzie of Whole Again says is he had written the book, he had this great website, but something, he felt stuck. And what he learned to do was just be and stop doing so much. And he he just sat with his feelings instead of trying to cover them up. Diana, I get stuck from time to time. I still have to go one day at a time. Only difference now is I forgive myself. I give myself or forgive myself for mental health days, and it helps. Brenda says, part of my stuckness is also not making new videos after being viciously attacked and let it getting to my head. Brenda and I were the butt end of a horrific smear campaign by a former narcissistic girlfriend of mine, and it really did a lot of damage. The things that were said, but what I know is that, honey, you make brilliant videos, and I hope someday that you get healing and you're able to get your gifts and your wisdom out there in the world. But no pressure, honey bunny. Emotional detective. Didn't think, Mark, that you would speak. I have a Thunderbird convertible. It's gold. I happen to think that if Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis were alive, it would be the car she would drive. It's very elegant, but it has a V8 in it, and that bad boy will get up and go. I bought it in Virginia, and I got to the next state over. I don't know which state comes between Virginia. It must have been West Virginia. I don't know. No, whatever is above Virginia, whatever that was. I just got into that state. I'd only been driving for half an hour, and there was like a speed trap there in front of this little town, and I hit the gas and zipped around somebody. I had a ticket within a half an hour owning my sports car. Okay, so Sue says, I turn off the TV and I sit for hours and hours and zone out or ruminate. Sometimes something about getting your body moving seems to stop the stuckness and the paralyzing from moving in. Question by, where'd it go? I keep moving ahead too far. Question by Soren. I think life is precious. I want to make sure that whatever I do with my life is a reflection of something meaningful. How do I find that in my life? You know, I should move this over a little bit. It might be more centered. I want to make sure that whatever I do with my life is a reflection of something meaningful. How do we find that in life? Trauma shuts down our link to meaning. I think it does. I think trauma does shut down our link to meaning. Have you guys seen the great movie City Slickers with Billy Crystal from years ago, with Jack Palance, who played Curly, who won an Academy Award for his Best Supporting Actor playing Curly? And when he accepted the Academy Award, he did one arm. He's like 75 years old, and he did one arm push-ups on both sides, which I can barely do two arm push-ups, if the truth be known. And the next week he was doing commercials saying, confidence is sexy. I have a point to my Jack Palance story, Soren. When Billy Crystal was out at the Dude Ranch, he was searching for meaning. And Curly said, the meaning of life is one thing. And Billy Crystal said, what is it? And then Jack Palance said, well, you got to figure that out for yourself. So everybody has a calling and is on a journey, and we're all heroes. You just got to figure out what your calling is about and go do that. Supercalifragilistic says, Renda, people attack Gandhi and the Dalai Lama. So you're in good company, Renda. Okay. Diana says, Renda, your videos are golden, and the good you are doing is priceless. And she says, thank you. Jackie says, yes, Renda's videos are amazing, and it comes from the heart. Sarah says, Renda is my hero. Sarah says her growth is mind-boggling. I got to say this about my wife, since we're changing the focus of the show to my wife. I got to say that my wife is really on a growth spurt. She's been really interdependent lately. She's just been being true to herself, and I can be a big personality. I don't know if y'all have noticed that. And she's been carving out her own space from around the big personality, and she's been more joyful. She's been promoting her practice. She's been putting stuff on Facebook. She's been writing articles. So, and she's been happy and she's been smiling. So that is a growth spurt. Sue says, I woke up one day and said, fuck this shit. What she said. I think that's what she said. I'm turning this around again. I will not be a victim the rest of my life. I decided to do everything I could do for 1 year to heal myself and finally discover what makes me happy. Okay. So you guys are just sort of communicating amongst yourselves and, having fellowship amongst yourselves. Soren says, I know what my purpose is. I know what my one thing is. It's just raising the money to do it. Balancing it with my need for security is a hard thing. I'm trying to find the right balance. I heard that. Diet Coke break. Yummy. That's been one of my challenges. Is I have a calling to be a writer, but ever since my shattering, I haven't really had enough focus to write and discipline and financial freedom. You got to have some financial freedom so you have time to write. And then the other thing is, it's just so much easier to make these videos, and you can get ideas out and fresh, whereas a book just takes forever and ever and ever. Emotional Detective says, we are listening. Your voice is therapeutic and we feel at ease. Well, I'm glad. Jackie says, how's your daughter? She's doing good, I think. I haven't been at home, so I'll see her probably Friday evening and we'll find out how good she's doing. We'll see. There's some evidence that she's made some growth, and there's some evidence that she's made some regression. So we don't know, but we're going to find out. So Sue says, Renda is how I found this channel. She was Googling toxic families, and she wasn't a YouTube user at all. And it took me to Renda's video and to this channel a few months ago. And Renda came across as authentic. Honey, you're getting all kinds of love. All kinds of love here. Supercalifragilistic says, Mark, can you talk about emotional literacy and emotional limberness? Is that a joke? Emotional literacy and emotional limberness. I have to be honest with you. I don't know much about those topics. Soren, Mark, do you think financial freedom has to come first? I feel like if I become a psychiatric MP and save like crazy for 5 years, I'll have the money to do it. Or should I do my passion and job at the same time? Well, what I'm doing is my passion and my job at the same time. But that may not be the thing for you to do, but that's the thing that that I do is I just have this compulsive need to create as a writer and as an artist and as somebody who's passionate about recovery. So that's what I do. I don't know if that's what would work best for you, but I have a guy whose dream that I work with, his dream is to own a boat, fishing boat. So, but in the meantime, he still rents boats and he goes out and fishes. So I would say you've got to do some of your dream along the way. Sue says Mark is calming and he dresses very hip for a therapist. I wore my this is my I call it my warrior necklace tonight. I haven't worn it in a long time. I don't know why I'm wearing. I don't think I'm going to war. Hey, I have this thing. There are these cards that Renda and I got that are very sort of stimulating of creative therapeutic creativity, and they're called interactive cards for parts work. And for the longest time, we would you guys, we would use these for an intensive, but we didn't do very many intensives. So now I pick one every day, And it sort of sets the tone for the day. Look at mine today. And it was somebody was getting bullied. So all day long I've been extra prepared that if somebody sort of picks on me, that I would be ready for that. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna read y'all a poem. I gotta find it first, though. What would be the quickest way to find it? I'll Google it. No, I'll look on my channel. That's where it is. So I'm going to read this poem for you all. Soren says Mark does dress like a sexy beast. My God. I'm jealous of his style. When I get out of poverty, I'm going to go shopping. The reason it made me think of this poem because this was Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis's favorite poem. And there's some stuff in here about thriving and about buying cool stuff. Just listen. As you set out for Ikatha, and Ikatha is thriving. When you think of Ikatha is thriving. Hope the voyage is a long one, full of adventure, full of discovery. Cyclops and the angry Poseidon, don't be afraid of them. You'll never find things like that on your way as long as you keep your thoughts raised high, as long as a rare excitement stirs your spirit and your body. What's the poet? This is a Greek poet, Constantine Cavafy. He says, don't worry about narcissists. If you got joy and you a badass, you won't have to worry about them. That's what he's saying in the poem. With Cyclops and Poseidon, you won't encounter them unless you bring them alongside your soul, and unless your soul sets them up in front of you. If you're powerful and you have joy and you spot narcissists, the world's a lot safer place. Hope your voyage is a long one. May there be many a summer morning when, with leisure, what joy, you come into harbors seen for the first time. May you stop at Phoenician trading stations to buy fine things. Mother of pearl, coral, amber, and ebony, sensual perfume of every kind, as many sensual perfumes as you can find. And may you visit many Egyptian cities to gather stories of their knowledge of their scholars. What's the author saying is, have joy, have creativity, dress like a beast, smell like a beast, smell sexy, have style, be beautiful, have the style of Jackie Kennedy. Keep thriving, keep Ikatha always in your mind. Arriving there is what you are destined for. But don't hurry the journeys at all. Better that it lasts for years, so that you are old by the time you reach the island. Wealthy with all you have gained along the way, not expecting Ikatha to make you rich. Ikatha gave you the marvelous journey. Without her, you would not have set out. She has nothing left to give you now. And if you find her ultimately poor, Ikatha will not have fooled you. Wise as you will have become, so full of experience, you will have understood by then what these Ikathas mean. Ikatha is a hero's journey. Ikatha is thriving. Ikatha is dressing in style and smelling pretty. And thanks for the comments about my style. I just dress comfortable. Okay, Lance is in the house. Hello, Lance. Okay. Sue says, Ginger, this live chat community really makes me feel understood. Cool. Jackie says that her husband says that she would be the therapist in the movie What About Bob? That was, what's his name? He was in Jaws, the guy from Jaws. Why can't I think of his name? Who's the actor? William Dreyfus. What's his name? Dreyfus was the therapist in What About Bob? So I hope you guys did enjoy the poem. Pretty cool if it's Jackie Kennedy's favorite poem. Richard Dreyfuss and Bill Murray. Thank you, Jackie. Lance says, come to Cali and we'll see how cool you are. I do come to Cali every now and again because I got my son out there in San Francisco. Gonna need a bigger boat. Are you thinking about Jaws? We're gonna need a bigger boat. That's a big fish trying to eat us. I spilled on the mic. That's not good. I'm having a spillage issue here. Let me clean up. So I think we're good. Just keep the mic from getting wet. Let me pull some more cards. Sue says that her creative side was an escape from her hellish childhood, and it gives me peace. Jackie says, if you need to laugh, please watch this movie. I can watch it a million times. You're talking about What About Bob? Or talking about Jaws? Okay. I spilled my Powerade, and I'm cleaning up the tragic spillage here because it's spilling on my leg. But I'm not going to cry over spilled Powerade. I'm just going to clean it up. And now my desk is cleaner than it was. My leg's a little wet. Okay. Catastrophe avoided. What y'all talking about? Soren says, I think that poet makes sense. You are yearning and creating, and you gain more as you go along. But it's about the journey. It's not about where you end up. Where are the fur babies? Mr. Paulie's right here. You know what? I'm going to grab Mr. Paulie and bring him over. I'll be right back. He hasn't been on the show for a while, and he's just chilling right over here. I don't know how to fix that. Let me see if it'll fix it on my screen here. Is it working, or are we done? Where are you, Mark? think we're frozen. Are we back? We are back? Okay, we're back. I don't know what. Did you guys get to see Mr. Paulie? I brought Mr. Paulie. What you should do is hit the refresh button, and it should bring you back. Did you guys get to see Mr. Paulie? I brought Mr. Paulie on and was talking about Mr. No, Paulie! Seriously? Oh, I gotta bring him on again then. He's not gonna like this. Alright, I'll be back. You gotta come again, buddy. I'm sorry. One more time. He was on the show just a moment ago, and then we got frozen for some reason, and he does have those warts on his head. Don't be upset. He's just old. He's 11 and a half. He loves to fly on airplanes and go to the airport. And he's a really sweet dog. Mwah. However, he likes to eat. Mr. Paulie, he likes to eat, and he goes into Renda's office and he eats Peyton's food. Oh, I gotta hold him up just a little bit more. He eats Peyton's food, and then he eats Zara's food. And he eats his own food, and then he asks his dad for sausages. All right, let me let him down. So, those are beauty marks. Those aren't warts. Jackie says she likes to eat too. Kisses for Mr. Paulie. Augie Doggy and Doggy Daddy. He's very gentle. He's very sweet. Well, I think we lost some of our peeps when I froze again. I don't know why we're having technical difficulties. I like to eat too. I've been doing this low carb diet, and I've been staying away from sweets. We had dessert yesterday that came with our dinner, and I only ate half of the banana pudding, and it was like amazingly yummy and delicious, and I only ate half of it, so I took that as a I don't really eat sugar, but I'm not really losing weight because we go to this Chinese buffet and I eat massive quantities of meat, and I have not really gaining weight, but I'm not really losing weight, but for whatever that's worth. So Soren is a huge fan of food. So I'm gonna show you a few more of these cards, and just for fun, and ask you, what does that bring up for you? A guy at a door. So free associate. He's got a teddy bear. Any thoughts about the card? Let me see what I'll free associate. He has a briefcase that it says problem solving kit. And so what this it's Jackie says it's me. Soren thinks of swimming. They want to know if it's a tarot card. No, it's a interactive parts work card. These are for therapy for our different parts. Jeanette, Jordan, love your videos. You've really helped me. Well, I'm glad that you've been helped. Supercalifragilistic says it's a narcissist selling safety. Okay, here's one. Oh, to me, Well, what is this? What does this bring up for you? Jeanette Jordan, 50 symptoms of narcissistic abuser. My favorite. That's a wicked one. Has that scary looking lady on it. Sad. So, inner child. So this looks like a lost child to me. I've got some videos on lost child. He needs love. He's Linus from Peanuts because he has his blanket. It's childhood at a crossroads. He's an abandoned child. He's a lost child. Yeah, abandoned, sadness, lonely, no one to play with. Not nurtured. Doesn't have his mom or his dad around. It looks like somebody's pulling out of the driveway and pulling away and leaving him. We'll do a few more cards. Sue says, I want to scoop him up and hug him, the cute little boy. Here's a funny one. So it has this thin gal looking in the mirror, and she sees a really heavy gal. Here's what's funny is I've gained a little bit of weight around my tummy, and I look in the mirror and I see a skinny guy. She's skinny. She sees a chubby lady, and I'm fat, and I look in the mirror and I'm like, man, you look good. Oh, Sue says that really is me in the mirror. Soren says it's a cognitive distortion, perception of self. Doesn't matter who you are, it's who do you think you are that really matters. My wife says she identifies with this card. Okay, one more. There we go. There are lots of cats and a dog. I think that's a dog. It might be a pig. And there are cats in the basket and a grandma. Jackie says, Renda, you look good. Soren says, grandma's house, grandma's house. What I associate with this card is my mother would make fudge. Boy, she could make some fudge. Like walnuts in it and pecans. And it smelled so good. And just how she's standing there, I know she's not holding fudge. There is a pie. There is a pie on the table. Is that a pig or a dog? It's a dog. So anyway, happy, cute. She says, oh no, Jackie says, it's me again. Comfort, contentment, love, home. I see fudge. Wudge. I'd read you my poem about Wudge, but it'd take me too long to find it. So, Jackie says, this is therapeutic. Sue says, it reminds me of the lady next door as a kid. She baked cookies. She was my oasis from my abusive childhood. Okay, so in 2 weeks, whatever that is, in 2 weeks. What is that? I lost my phone. In 2 weeks on a Tuesday night. What does that bring us to? The 19th? Tuesday the 19th in 2 weeks, Jerry Wise will be in the house, and he will be the 18th? Tuesday the 19th. He will be in the house, and he will be hosting the show, and I will set his setup up. He might be alone for a little bit, but then I'll be there to help him. So I'm going to be in Indy, and Renda's going to be here enjoying the nice weather, taking care of the puppies, and working on creativity and working on all of her new marketing efforts. So our group was small tonight, but it was fun. And I think I didn't get a chance to get to this Chris fellow's long email, but I don't think he was on the show. He was supposed to come. I think he stayed up late last week. He might be upset. I don't know. I'll try to reach out to this guy. Maybe I can do that in 4 weeks. But in 2 weeks, Jerry Wise is going to be the guy sharing about family systems. So Lance says, coming to Southern California to learn how to surf. Brother, I ain't never going to surf. I am not built for surfing. Let me tell you that much. I could probably practice for weeks and weeks and weeks and not be able to get up on the board. Now, I'm more of a Northern California guy in San Francisco, hanging out with my son. So Jackie says, it's always enjoyable hanging out with Mark and Renda and Jerry. Renda says she's going to relax. So is it easier to relax without me being around? Is that what she's saying? In 4 weeks, it's spring. We're looking forward to that. Sue says, thank you, Renda and Mark, for all that you do to help us and for doing these free live chats. They keep me on track. So I love y'all, and I enjoyed tonight. And I will see you to introduce Jerry in 2 weeks. We'll probably be on time because Jerry likes to be on time. So